as usual.
Welcome to the Radical Cruise podcast, where we dig deep to reach high. I am your co-host, Peyron Baxter.
And I'm your co-host Ram Sandoval. What's up?
What's up, everybody? We have a special guest on today. You know, it's all over the place. Time is a flat circle. We have Kristie Puckett on, the activist, the advocate, an all-around badass. How long was it? We had you on what? How many months ago?
Several months ago, I
Several
would say.
months is the
Yeah.
time frame that this sounds like. But no, and since then, you know, she hasn't stopped doing the good work. So with all the world, the state, the counties, the countries, the whole thing, the metaverse,
Mm-hmm.
the intergalactic, right?
Yes.
It's spinning off its axis. I reached out to Kristie and said, you know what, it's been a minute. Come back on. But you've been doing some cool stuff, or at least
Yeah.
give us some updates on what you've been doing. Then we'll dive into all the fuckery.
Yeah, no, we have been, I work for a new organization that is launching officially in April called the Second Chance Federation. It is a law firm that is founded by formerly incarcerated people on behalf of currently and formerly incarcerated people to ensure that the civil rights and civil liberties of those groups of people are not forgotten and are maintained. And we would like to see some rights expanded, but we just trying to maintain what we got. As my mama would say, hold what we got right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've been, we work on a lot of different issues as far as civic engagement is concerned. We know that there are a lot of North Carolinians living with criminal histories who've been given erroneous information as it relates to like voting and their ability to vote. And so we work with those communities to make sure that they have right information, their ID, and, just politically engaged and educated for folks who have historically been locked out. So yeah, that's what we've been working on.
Good. Well, that is fun stuff, and that starts in April. You said, or so in the meantime.
Yeah, we officially launch in April, so I'll make sure you guys get. We launch in here in Charlotte, where even though we are a national, nonprofit national law firm, we decided to have our launch in Charlotte, and so yeah, I'll make sure that you guys get invited. Y'all can come on down and hang out with us for a day or so, and see more folks who around the country who are doing this work and who are concerned to getting to the root, right, of the issue. The part of why we can't ever seem to get out of this vicious cycle that we are in with our government is because we never really get to the root of the issue. And if we want to see change, it's going to cause some discomfort, right? If you ever had a root canal, there was some discomfort. Right? And so like, growth requires pain, but white supremacy prioritizes comfort. And so it's two, competing outcomes. And so historically, white folks have prioritized the comfort of white supremacy rather than the discomfort of liberty and justice. And so, yeah, we're going to keep naming that. We're going to keep saying it in as many different ways as we can until people actually understand how they participate in their own in their own, like, you don't even have to,
their own oppression, right?
Well, not just on like, you don't have to put physical shackles on if the mental shackles are there. So their own oppression.
No, and also you recently just started a show, right?
I did. So it's called The Expat and the Activist. One of my siblings moved to Vietnam. He was fed up with America after Trump 2.0, and he was like, I'm not doing this again. And so he got out, and he moved to a communist country and is living a really enjoyable, good life as a Black person who looks different than everyone, who's taller than everyone for the most part, right? Who doesn't speak the language, but has been there for like almost 20 months and is really having a good time and loves his job and has a great quality of life and can afford to live in a city that has more people than New York City has, right? So where he lives, Ho Chi Minh City has about 10 million people that live there. And those people for very nice apartments are paying less than $500 and $600 a month to live in these very equivalent to, and we're paying almost $4,000 and $5,000 to live in little matchboxes,
in a shoebox, right?
Right. And so, yeah, that the show that we have created highlights my work here on the ground in the United States, and he compares it and contrasts it to kind of what they are hearing and feeling around the world. And given that they have much more unadulterated, I would say, news in other countries, they are getting a truer version of what is happening than what the American people who are living here are getting.
Yeah.
And so it's important for us to kind of get that out as well.
Yeah. Oh, Ron, we gonna switch this up here. No, and I think that's a good perspective, because I remember when I was in France, right, the week when COVID hit America, like the second week of March, and like I was seeing the Italian news, and I was seeing the German news in France, and I was like, and I seen the French news. And then, like, I would look at my phone at CNN and see Jake Tapper, like, spinning the same, rehearsed stuff over and over again. I'm like, this is night and day of what my family's saying back home, I'm quite sure. And this is like, and so to that point, having that comprehensive view is very important for us. But, all right, but, let's get into it. So a lot's been happening. I mean, we can't jump into everything that's been happening past 2 weeks, but I think everything, to your point, goes back to the core problem and original sin of this country, which is white supremacy. So really everything flows from that, right? And to your point, the last time I talked to you, I was still the chair of the Democratic Party. I was still kind of a little bit afraid to say certain things. And since then, I've been able to be more free, being able to just say how it is. And that's caused a lot of consternation. People they don't like that. They don't like, hold on, wait a second now. Don't say
because a lot of people see the Democratic Party as like our way out, and they don't see it as the hindrance that it is. Right, that it is one of the major obstacles to freedom and liberation, because they too suffer from white supremacy and think that they have the Bill of Rights on freedom and liberation. You can't commodify freedom and liberation. People just take it and they do what they want with it, and because they can't control it and package it and capitalize off of it, then none of us get it, right? Or except for the wealthy 1% that get to do pretty much what they want. Because if we look at, I know the Epstein files kind of have like went down to the bottom of people's like
they never really
right
cared
now.
about that.
Well, but what it demonstrates is they didn't care about it. This is someone who engaged in this really egregious, harmful behavior, and folks can turn a blind eye because he was a billionaire. Because he was a billionaire, he must have these like redeeming qualities, right? The same thing we saw with, the royal family, Prince Andrew, or excuse me, former Prince Andrew, right? He was afforded, just because having money afforded him a benefit of a doubt, right? That they continue to benefit from. And so, these 8 days of January, I did not wake up, like I said on the activism, I did not think that I was gonna wake up and see Maduro in a Nike Tech.
Right, the Nike Tech out. I mean, we had 50 hours of 2026 where we was like, okay, it might be all right. And then within 50 hours, we were like, oh, it's about to get worse. I mean, but just to your point about like the Trump of it all, and like how there's been a really softened base of people who have just been conditioned to accept what's going on. I go back further than Trump, of course. It's like there's been decades of prosperity gospel. I mean, if you really look at Trump, he has the same kind of he has the same sort of a posture as like a tele-evangelical. Was it tele-evangelist? What is it?
Taps into the same
sort of a thing,
televangelist,
televangelist, right?
Televangelist.
So he's that. So, and then if you think about it, when you had Billy Graham, not Billy Graham, but who's the guy who was having sex with that model? I have sinned.
Jimmy Swagger.
Jimmy Swagger. It's the same sort of thing. So there's these certain transgressions that are afforded to these powerful men, and happens in the Black church too, right? Because even the concept of having a powerful, beyond reproach man in the church is a part of the conditioning of people to then give them money, give them power to excuse what they do. And
prosperity gospel.
Prosperity gospel. But then you get to the point where like now they're in power, like someone like a Donald Trump or Ronald Reagan. And then he has, these police officers, and then now we have ICE agents that are basically doing, basically in their mind of these cult followers, God's will. And that and then it becomes almost this religious cult-like thing, right? And I think that's what's really been happening. As we know, this has been a white supremacist, male-dominated patriarchal society. Yes. But that is the cult of it all, right? Is that
it requires white women's participation.
No question, right? They have to have this kind of a foothold. Sorry, go ahead, Kristie.
No, I feel like sometimes we talk about when we talk about white Anglo-Saxon Protestant men,
Mhm,
right, the
mhm.
WASPs, but we oftentimes leave the women out of the conversation. And the killing of this Miss Renee out of Minnesota by ICE just shows us
Yes.
that that's a warning to white women to do not get in the way, right? That historically you have not gotten in the way, right? And if you do get in the way, you gonna get what they get.
That's right.
So we don't love and really care about you either, except for as far as you can reproduce, cook, clean, and play the traditional role that women have played in history and in society. And so, like, yeah, even that the shooting of this white mother
Mhm,
in Minnesota is a clear message to white women
mhm,
that your whiteness is no longer a protector in these circumstances. And
mhm.
when I watched the video, my initial reaction when I first saw it, as it was like had just unfolded, I was like, you know what? Had this lady had been over policed and over surveilled her entire life, she would have be alive today because she would have reacted differently.
Mhm,
See, me, when they would have come up to that car and talk about get the fuck out, I'd have been getting the fuck
mhm.
out.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have been arguing, not nothing. I wouldn't even put the bitch in park. Okay. I'd
Right.
have been getting out. And if
They've been
it
doing
been
a
roll over
slow
your
roll.
ass, it'd have been a slow roll, but I was getting out. Right.
Yeah, that's
And
real.
even if you were gonna move the car, my experience has taught me. I was in Elizabeth City in 2021 when the sheriffs out there in Pasquotank County shot Andrew Brown in the back of the head 4 times, and the DA's justification was the car was a weapon because he was driving off to avoid the warrant that they were trying to serve. That the car became a weapon in that moment, and it served as the justification. The officer said that he was afraid that he was going to hit him, and that meant that this officer now had qualified immunity. So we have seen this play over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, and because I've been over policed and over surveilled my whole life,
Mhm.
I have a different response to police interactions at this point. Yeah, you still get nervous, but you
Right.
know to just go ahead and comply and do what the people say. And you know you can't drive towards them. They're going to shoot and justify it later. And so this is when racism does not work on your behalf, white people. It's
Mhm.
when it becomes your Achilles heel. Because when you are confronted with these situations that Black people face every single day, you're not prepared. And that video just showed how unprepared white people are to go toe to toe against the police, to actually protest, to actually intervene. Because when they are confronted, they still display their privilege. If a law enforcement officer tell you get the fuck out the car, what make your ass think you can keep driving? Now, I'm not blaming this lady.
No,
Hear
right,
me
right,
out.
right, right. I think, but to that point, though, I think there's a level of we talk about on this show a lot. White people have a very low level of danger radar, right? Like being,
With the police, especially.
well, I mean, just being walking the society. Like when the society privileges you, you don't have to
Yes.
be thinking. You don't have to be self aware. Like
And
when I go
right,
into a bank, when I go into a school, when I go
right.
into a grocery store, I got to think: is that motherfucker? I guarantee you. Even though again, we're so sad that Renee died, but like she never
Yes.
walked into an interview and was like, "I hope this motherfucker ain't racist."
And
Nah,
that
it's
it became what has been a shield of protection became the Achilles heel.
Mhm.
And that is the point. Is not to denigrate her or to sound like it's
No,
victim blaming, but what I am saying is had she had more interactions throughout her life, her response would have been to potentially, I would say, to comply, right? Because when you done had them. See, I had that Billy Club back in the day, Ron.
how about the
I had that
club.
Billy Club hit me across. Yeah,
Oh
when I
no,
didn't comply, I had that Billy Club hit me right there at that C3, C4 vertebrae. And if you've ever felt that level of pain, when
mm,
mm,
that Billy Club hits you across that back and that neck, that shoulder blade,
mm,
it takes the breath out of you. It takes you to your knees. That memory reverberates in my body.
mm.
So when they say get out, get down, get up, put your hand, baby, I got arrest videos. You see me just doing whatever. They be jerking me around. I just be moving like a little rag doll because I'm not resisting. I'm not doing any of those things. You're not gonna kill Kristie. I mean,
Right,
you
I,
might,
I,
you're
but
right.
it
You
ain't gonna be
might.
because
I,
right, but it ain't gonna be because I was overly doing right.
yeah, I think for a lot of white folks right now in the past year especially feels like a crash course, right? Because for us and our ancestors, the, like they had to live it. My mother taught me, hey, if you get stopped by the police, just obey, listen, don't run, don't talk back. and kind of just like this, training, these experiences that we go through. Like you said, we walk into an interview, you got to be aware of like who you're talking to, right? Like I don't walk into an interview and just assume everyone's racist, but when somebody starts talking, or you can tell they're either prejudiced or, have whatever, you can tell, right? And I think a lot of white folks have been in denial, right? We talk about that quite a bit, and it's like it's hard to ignore now. Like it's just like, and so,
well, they're killing you now. And if you watch any of my previous like podcasts or lives that I've done, I've been saying to white people for years, they are going to kill you too. This is going to impact. And listen, the police, if we look at police deaths in this country, they kill more white people than black people anyway, right? Just because there are more white people anyway. So statistically, white people always had a vested interest in police, because they get killed by them too, right?
And that's just physical violence.
But what we have not seen is a white mother from the Midwest, unarmed, who was simply trying to make sure her neighbors were safe,
using her
which
rights.
is what good neighbors do. And she was murdered for that.
That's right.
Like we are at a place where all Americans, regardless of their political beliefs, should feel some type of way, because it's hard to. And when ICE pull up in your neighborhood, they don't be caring what your political affiliation. And they don't care if you got on a MAGA hat. They don't care who you voted.
I vote for Trump. You're gonna learn quick.
And they're gonna be like, okay, well, vote for him down in El Salvador.
Right. Well, I mean, to that point, so I got a few videos here we can kind of just chew on real quick. So one of these things is so this well, first let's go through this quick video here is of our favorite here, Kristie Noem. This was her response to the murder.
First of all, what did she have on? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Was
she just on a safari?
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened, it was our ICE officers were out. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day. These vehicle rammings are domestic acts of terrorism. We're working with the Department of Justice to prosecute them as such.
So, I mean, clearly a bunch of bullshit. And then she has this, Woody from Toy Story hat on. Probably covering up her most recent surgeries or something, or trying to stop her face from melting. I have no respect for these people. The idea I need to protect them is fucking ridiculous. But go ahead, Ron. What you got? You're on mute, Ron.
She's always in a different costume. Like she's
cosplaying.
Like she's cosplaying, right? Like she's cosplaying. I don't even know.
But they will lie on you. The government will lie on you.
Lie on you, to you, but Black people, we've been saying this for years. We have literally everything that people are saying, these think pieces that people are writing. Black people have been naming these things, and you didn't believe us. You thought we should have just left slavery behind. Jim Crow doesn't happen anymore. Why can't you just move on? That wasn't us. That was our ancestors. Okay, well, these are our contemporaries now. We talking about this doing stuff. Now, we're not talking about your great-great-great-granddaddy no more. We're talking about your contemporaries. How are you going to hold these people accountable? Because you're right. We can't go back and hold the folks who have gone on accountable. We can't do nothing about the Confederate soldiers. We can't do nothing about them folks. But what can you do? Because that man, that ICE agent,
Jonathan Ross. We got his name, Jonathan Ross.
Oh, Jonathan Ross is somebody's family member.
Oh yeah.
And the way
he's got some bitch wife at home that he has to go home and punch. Absolutely.
Well, y'all remember the here a few weeks ago when the man owner of Sycamore Brewing, like they found out he had all those charges, and how immediately they shut down Sycamore Brewing, right?
Right.
Well, this should be the response of family members of ICE agents, and in particular this ICE agent. It should be an immediate cancellation. His wife should be coming out saying, I have divorced this man, don't be coming to our house. Right? Like, leave me and my kids out of this. That is that man. You know why? Because again, white women have always played a huge role in the continuing oppression of all people, themselves included. The falling of Dobbs back in 2022 was because of white women's unwillingness to really hear Black women when we were crying for decades that the reproductive movement did not include us or our experiences, and that because we were not being included, that their reproductive rights were going to be at risk. And we have always said, right? So, we've had folks along the way like Audre Lorde and Sal Shakur who have taught us these teachings that our liberations are tied together. Dr. Angela Y. Davis, our liberation is connected, that we can't be free if other people are being oppressed. And that is true for white people. I think when white people hear oppression and freedom and who needs to be free, they think, oh, I'm already free. So that you're talking about them. And they don't get how this country has us all in a chokehold. The unaffordability that runs rampant in this country, where the people who not so much have the capital, but who control the capital, because Venezuela had the oil, but now who's controlling the oil? So it's not so much about possession, right? Because Africa possesses the resources, but who controls the resources? And I think a lot of people, and especially Black people, we think of capital as the amassing of rather than the control of, right? And we need to shift our perspective around capital. It is not about having capital. It's about who gets to control the capital. Because again, we just saw Trump go kidnap that man, and now we got 50 million barrels of oil. That's their capital that we control. And so how do we as Black people control capital? Well, the best thing that we have as Black people is social capital. So how do we control, not just possess? It's not about followers, right? How many people you can influence. It is about controlling the influence. Who gets to speak up? See, that's what the other side also does. They prop up certain spokespeople. They have the Charlie Kirks and the Nick Fuenteses and the Steve Bannons and the Candace Owens and the Tucker Carlsons and Al Sharpton ain't it.
No.
Jesse Jackson. Well, Lord, he can't be it. But you know what I'm saying? It's just, they ain't it.
It's golden hour.
And they're not been it for a long time. Obama ain't it.
Nope.
He's just not. And so it ain't Amanda Seals, right? It's not her. So we don't have, Malcolm is gone. Kwame is gone, right? Stokely is gone. Fred is gone. And so I
don't think there's going to be I don't think there's going to be a singular unified
It's not
leader,
about
right?
being a singular unified leader. But they look how many are named on the other side.
Right.
They have a whole chorus of voices.
But I think the reason why, though, I think when you look at it structurally, it's like, because that's to maintain. I think even when they say the word conservative, what they're saying when they say conservative is that we want to conserve white male power, and white women help with that. Some Black people help, as Bell Hooks say. Racism isn't just or white supremacy isn't just upheld by white people. It takes other people. But same way as patriarchy doesn't take just men, women uphold that shit too.
It takes all people.
So it's like there's this level of because I think about, like, for you said Charlie Kirk. Turning Points USA was started by Bill Montgomery, a billionaire who astroturfed Charlie Kirk, who's an 80-year-old billionaire, because guess what? Young tweens and 19-year-olds don't want to listen to some 80-year-old man say, I don't think women need to work. The Civil Rights Act was a lie. So I'll pay this young 20-something-year-old millions of dollars, who then becomes popular, and then he's astroturfed. Now, it was started to be against anti-guns and anti-COVID. Bill Montgomery died of COVID, and Charlie Kirk died of a gunshot. How karma is a bitch. But at the end of the day, it's like that is what it's a financial infrastructure to maintain that capitalistic control, which needs the racism, which needs the sexism, which needs the homophobia.
Also,
I think I'm not suggesting that we replicate their model. What I am saying is that why they are so successful is because they have a lot of messengers, and we do not have a lot. You just said you was at the Democratic Party and you didn't feel like you could say what needed to be said.
Correct.
They do not have those constraints on that side. They can say whatever they want over there. They're not trying to be respectable. They're trying to win. They're trying to maintain control. I think that our side, I'm not even talking about Democrats, just the people who believe in freedom and liberation have to be okay with stepping on toes, hurting people's feelings, and people not liking it. And that's okay, because we're not here to be liked. We're here to control. Because we are also here to control some things, to control the decline of democracy. Democracy is in a free fall right now. There has to be a floor that is placed. Who is putting in the floor? Who digging the footing to pour the foundation, to lay down the plywood to put down the floor? Like, that's not happening right now. It's a free fall, and so I guess what I'm saying is we don't have to have like one person or one thing, but we do need to have a chorus of people who are unapologetic about what Black people have been doing, what Black people need to be doing. And it can't be it's not going to be on CNN, right? It is these podcasts like what you guys are creating. It's getting out in your community and listening to community organizers. It is going to it sounds kind of odd to say a progressive church, but a church, that really does have a social justice
center
part,
right?
Yeah. And not the money part. What do you call prosperity, Joel Osteen?
Prosperity, yeah. I mean, I go to Trinity. Well, I don't go to Trinity anymore, but I still watch Trinity United Church of Chicago. Yeah, so. That whole tradition of it's a church that's rooted in liberation, Black liberation theology, right? So to your point, right? And so it's probably one of the reasons why I haven't necessarily found a church down here yet. But I think when they choose these leaders, the Charlie Kirks, and now we have to get an Erica Kirk in place, or we have to get JD. Like I feel like they're targeting a population who is predisposed to needing to have this, deity or this king, right? God or Jesus or Trump. It has to be somebody who's, kind of this authority that kind of tells them what to do and what's okay, right? And I feel like that also helps them kind of, take over the masses, guide the masses with this message, whereas, this big tent party or the left is very diverse and doesn't really, we don't feel like we need a leader, a single leader, if you will, right? So, but yes, I do agree with this whole,
it's not even about a single leader. It's about it doesn't even see, because I think that's where we get confused on the logistics of it. It has to be. I would say Mondami is the voice right now, right? Right. I would say he is the voice because he was able to bring a city together that historically has been very divided on a lot of issues. And what he didn't say, he said affordability. We all can get down with that, right? No matter where you live. I don't care where you live in this America. His message is resonating. That's what I am suggesting, that there are touch points, that it does not matter where you land on the spectrum. I don't even care political spectrum if you are conservative or liberal, but there are things that we can say that bring people. We don't want people, our side, the other side, to your point, yes, they are dogmatic and indoctrinating. We want to be conscious awakening. We need people who are critical thinkers. We don't need to tell people what to do or what to think. We need to provide the political education so that they can have their own analysis of their life, of what they need in their community. And then they become inspired, not just to worry about what's happening at the federal level every 4 years, but they get out there for that city council and that county commission and those midterm elections. And they really pay attention to the water and soil conservationists, right? Even if it's just right, like that we have to, our side has to be able to take people who are beaten down, y'all. Because the other side, let's be clear, most of the people who are conservative, the more money you make, the more conservative you become, right? And so it's a more affluent party. Our party is a party of working people who are poor. It is very difficult for working people to come to a city council meeting and be engaged. It's very difficult for them to keep up with the comings and goings of a city, right? Because they're working 2 and 3 jobs and trying to be a good parent, because, they talk about Black parents not being involved in education. So you try to prioritize the PTA meeting over the city council meeting or the school board meeting over other meetings. And so the setup is not conducive for our people, poor working class people, to really be politically engaged. And what I mean is, and our people are no longer reading books. They're no longer consuming 20 and 30-minute videos. We have got to be able to convey our message to our people in shorts, right? In 3 to 5 minute conversations, because their attention span is being pulled in so many different directions. Oh, somebody, we're communist retards?
Yeah, there's some. Ron's putting up a troll. We got a troll in the chat. There's always some small.
I don't care. We can be I guess what I'm saying is, okay, what's wrong with community?
Well, when you're soaked in individualism,
Well, and I guess in people, and you don't have the reading comprehension and the grasp of the English language that you would like to believe, then you do think that communism is a hate word.
It's a very smooth-brained, hung like a clit mentality. And these are people that
no disrespect, Clint.
I said hung like a clit, you know. That's a man there, but you know, it's funny that at the end of the last, and we could get this part now. Transition here at the end of our last episode, after we were done recording, me and Ron were talking about the upcoming elections, and just talking about, like, to your point, what this one side is doing, how direct they are, and how they're able to give their voting base basically what they want to. As the Democratic Party chair, I was able to understand the Republican Party leans into their base, right? Their base is hateful, they're bigoted, they're sexist, they're racist, they're xenophobic, they're ableist, they're capitalistic, they're greedy.
Not there to change their morals. They're
no,
there to capitalize on.
They need them to be that way. Because and if you think about it, if the Republican Party didn't have hatred, they wouldn't win a fucking election, right? They wouldn't win a single election ever again.
That's what they run on.
But on the other, and you said something earlier that I want to address, that like, and then on the other side, there's the idea of like the Big Tent, and I think the Big Tent for the Democratic Party is a shield to hide themselves from introspection. So like, if you say we're Big Tent, we like you heard Gavin Newsom say, we'll accept people that want to tax the rich like Mamdani, but we'll also have billionaires that don't want the taxes to get raised like Mark Cuban. Those you cannot swim forward with one hand going forward and the other hand going backwards, right? Like, that is a problem. And I think within the Democratic Party,
and Mark Cuban just need to go over there and just say that he's a left-leaning Republican.
We get it, dog. We get it, dog.
Okay. You want to keep your money, and I'm gonna be real honest with you. If I had some billions, I probably wouldn't want all my money going to taxes neither. I'm just gonna keep it a buck, because the more
that's how you become a billionaire, right?
And because that's how you become a billionaire.
Right.
Like, we can't be mad at the people for doing what it takes to maintain their status.
But this concept of the Big Tent, and I think the issue, and anytime we hear this, we always need to respond with, okay, then what's the tent pole? What's the tent pole holding up the tent? And if you go to a Democrat that's in, let's say, Pennsylvania, you go to a Democrat in Florida, a Democrat in North Carolina, they're going to have different. I'm just for this, but do you hear any politicians saying that? What we have right now is a Democratic Party that is captured by a politics that is not rooted in justice, not rooted in freedom, not rooted in liberty, not rooted in the things.
It's rooted in Israel.
Well, it is rooted in that.
Money. We tired of all our
money
going to Israel.
But it's 100% AIPAC, all that good stuff. If you know me, I'm always down on that. But I do believe it's a politics rooted in, like, I just want to be kind. I just want to reestablish that relationship with my MAGA dad. Like, it's like,
they don't want to cut them people off.
It's like that's the whole political. Well, we can't say that because we're gonna push them away.
Need it too. Oh, who cares? They need to be away.
We can't be that progressive because we're gonna push away my Uncle John.
But your ancestors tossed people off, made them walk the plank.
No,
like, don't act like you can't
Americans.
Be savage. You've been savage since the Caucasus Mountains.
Right,
okay?
Exactly.
You've been savage. So don't try to get to heaven today and be like, oh, deny all of the things that you have carried in your evolution and in your DNA. You have been savage. You've never been a warrior. You've always been imperialistic and colonialized.
And cowards.
Taking over. Right.
And that's the point of all this stuff, as we're talking about, like, you know, we're seeing with Renee Good and all this shit around. And I've been saying on these past few episodes, where are all these strong, good white men? You know, like, we've been told for decades and generations that they're through media and through television and through movies that there's going to be some white man riding on a white horse with a badge who's going to see an injustice and he's going to change that. I don't think that. I mean, it's not been proven, right? Again, where was the strong white man that was saving the indigenous people? Where was the strong white man that was trying to end slavery beyond John Brown? We know one or two people. You know, so the point is like, where are all these? Most of the time, the majority of white people are on the wrong side of history, and they don't want to hear that.
They're fine with where things are. They're just that. And listen,
it's the aesthetic.
January 6th should have taught. I mean, a lot of other moments before January 6th should have taught us some things. But January 6th should have taught us a lot. That was a building that they all held in like the highest regard.
Right?
They
smeared shit on it.
And they allowed folks to desecrate their building. And really, and then I remember I was just watching the other day, like, Trump was like, oh, the day after he had made this announcement, we're going to prosecute. And then he gets in office again and pardons them all, right? Like, condoning this behavior. And so they're unapologetic about what their agenda.
Very much so.
The bottom line is that the Democrats don't have an agenda, or they are not confident in the agenda that they have because they can't stand on anything.
I kind of going back a little bit to the point, like I put this up on the screen. This is the thought I had in the morning. It's something I posted after hearing Chuck Schumer and I forgot the other man's name,
Mark Warner.
Yes, thank you. And then kind of going back to like the Mamdani and I think him coming across as a genuine person, principled, saying what he believes and not being, waffling and coming soft. And I think that my thought is like, that's why a lot of young men are looking at the Democratic Party as weak, because they don't see anybody that looks like that. Like, especially white men don't see anybody that looks like them. It's like actually standing on business that actually feels like, a man of principle, of strength, and strength doesn't necessarily mean this, bulky, muscled out dude, but like,
I don't know. Those are the same people that are they like tan their anuses and shit.
But I'm just saying that, like, so I mean, like, listen to the reaction. This is crazy.
On the issue of these other nation states, Maduro lost in 24. I wish the previous administration had done more to push him out at that point. But when you start talking about Colombia and Mexico, they're nations that had democratic elections. And we're going to somehow say we're going to superimpose our position on democratically elected states. What message does that send to the world? And the whole notion, I think the first few months, people kind of joked about Greenland. But the idea that he's potentially posing a serious military threat, nothing would lead to the absolute destruction of NATO more than American aggressive action against a long-term ally like Denmark.
I asked for some assurances that they were not planning operations in other countries, and I named a few of the ones you mentioned, including Colombia and Cuba, and I was very, very disappointed in their answer. Thank you, everybody.
So, these people, they give an inch, right? And they always take a mile, right? And so they say, well, it's okay to do this. And Israel's and Palestine's a perfect example of, they allow this, and they really don't stand for nothing. They're out in the steps on January 6th having kumbaya, candlelight visuals,
right.
And right away JD Vance is throwing sombreros on them. They're putting MAGA hats in front of them. They don't say anything. It's fine. Even Trump was buckling at the knees because Mamdani he stood for something, and he probably
he had to shake that man's hand and invite him like he would any other New York elected mayor. Like, stop playing. You're still going to participate in the process. Now, this is what I do want to say about that video specifically. Number one, the senator has a duty to fact check. He has a duty to not repeat the right-wing media's talking points around Venezuela, especially the right-wing Venezuelan media. Maduro was democratically elected in his elections every time. Even when they said that he was not democratically elected, they did a recount. He won again. So to imply that he was not democratically elected and that the election was stolen, that, number one, is erroneous. And they need to do a better job of not repeating Republican and erroneous talking points. Number two, we would expect Congress to do to Trump what Trump did to Maduro.
Right.
The American people have been waiting.
Go in there with kicking his door in the middle of the night, take his ass out, insurrection, treasonous,
in a Nike Tech suit with some slides
and a Nike Tech, right, with a do-rag on, right.
Whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And that has not happened. And so while they're so concerned about Cuba and so concerned about Colombia and what is happening in Venezuela, why are you not doing what the American people want you to do? Because in our estimation, he's still democratically elected, just like Maduro was, right? And so but he's not being held accountable for the way in which he is acting in this really treasonous way.
Well, I mean, like I said, who the fuck? America doesn't have the historical or the moral authority to do any of this. America doesn't have the moral or the historical authority to put people to death in this country. Right. So, like, when you tell me that we're going to do this and he was a bad guy, I'm like, Trump's a bad fucking guy. How many bad fucking guys do we deal with? And on top of that, like,
and you're shaking hands with Netanyahu, who got
a fucking genocide going on. Like, there's no way that
Yeah.
Maduro has killed as many people as Benjamin Netanyahu
and the Venezuelan people. in Venezuela
are
like
protesting.
Maduro.
They want him
voted
back.
for him.
They
It's
want
these
him back.
American Venezuelans who over here talking about pro Trump, and I can't. I'm gonna stop because I was getting.
No, you're right. You're right, because when we look at diaspora movements across, when we look at immigration, the first wave is they serve a political purpose. They are meant to
That's who they let come.
That's who they let come, right?
That's who they let come.
That's the vetting process.
Who are going to support their ideals and who are going to say, yes, these political decisions that this government is making is correct. They're never going to bring.
A perfect example is Anna Navarro from The View. Her dad was a Contra. Okay, the U.S.-backed, killing force in Nicaragua
in the 80s. Yeah,
she was able to come here, go to law school, and then what did she become? A Republican. And then what they had her at the DNC, speaking rather than a Palestinian speaker. This is
because she hates Trump, as if she didn't create the rights of a Trump, and not just that. So, and I think what we have to acknowledge, though, y'all. Can we just take a moment of silence for us? We have been dealing with Trump in our face every day for 12 years.
He came down the escalator June 17th, 2015.
It's been a long time.
And then the very next day, Dylan Roof shot up Mother AME Church.
But even before he announced, remember he was on that birther movement for half of Obama's. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Half of Obama.
We talked about that here, though. I said, don't forget that birther movement was started under the Hillary Clinton campaign. Do you remember that she had an ad that said at 2 a.m. when you get that phone call, can he handle it? Basically, is he a terrorist? Is he a terrorist?
And the thing is, we've been dealing with this for so long that the American people have been, I'm not gonna say we're whittled down, but we are really exhausted. And I feel like we are just conserving our energy. I think a lot of us, I know what I'm doing. I'm just looking to January 20th, 2029. If them people don't kick in the doors again at the Capitol, right? If they don't certify, if they don't figure out a way to just,
he ain't gonna make it to them. I mean, he's got.
I don't think
he's falling.
I don't know.
Look at a video from 2016 to now. The brother ain't.
I've been looking at the little man on TikTok who talks about his ankles and how he believes that he had a stroke and is in renal failure and all of those things.
Brother ain't. He's had his fourth cognitive
JD
test.
Vance, though.
Oh, speaking of, here I got a video, JD Vance. Let's rock this just real quick. This is your potential next president.
That's what I'm saying.
And this is this is how he reacted today.
And why he don't never refer to why he always call his kid
that woman is part of a broader left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and to make it impossible for our ICE officers to do their job. If the media wants to tell the truth, they ought to tell the truth that a group of left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes using domestic terror techniques to try to make it impossible for the President of the United States to do what the American people elected him to do, which is enforce our immigration laws. The President stands with ICE, I stand with ICE, we stand with all of our law enforcement officers. And part of that is recognizing that you people in the media, not everybody in this room, but many people in this room have been lying about this attack. She was trying to ram this guy with her car. He shot back. He defended himself. He's already been seriously wounded in law enforcement operations before, and everybody who's been repeating the lie that this is some innocent woman who was out for a drive in Minneapolis when a law enforcement
This is some heavy propaganda to
white women poison that man. Poison these white men. Like, we're at that point where it's like these white men are crazy. They raise them. Right. But it's like this is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy from a law enforcement point of view, right? For the vice president to come out there and say with confidence what he just said, and when there's something on video, but just to say all of that, you've never seen that really, even in a terrorist attack or shooting, they've never come out forcefully like that. So,
well, you know what? I mean, he's probably responding to Lawrence O'Donnell because Lawrence O'Donnell went in last night on MS Now. He went. I'm talking about.
I miss Lawrence.
And I have not. I was like, Lawrence gonna get fired after the night. They probably gonna put him off.
He's spicy.
Let me tell you,
he's on that 10 o'clock, so they let him get away.
Donald Trump is lying. Kristi Noem is lying. He plays the video and he shows the other bit. He's like, lies. I mean, he literally called them lies. I was like, oh Lord, Lawrence O'Donnell gonna get canceled. And so I think that that's probably what they're responding to, because there were people. I think that what has happened, the media has also been very complicit.
No question.
Okay. They
No
have
question.
been, and it's because Jeff Bezos, to the Chicago mayor's point, they're worried about the Chicago. They did an op-ed in the Washington Post about the Chicago budget. And to his point, that's an attack on Black people, on cities that are like working class cities, cities that are run by Black people, that have Black leadership. And so it really is deep. And I don't think that the average person gets that these attacks on Black leaderships on these cities. Minneapolis is a Democratic working class city. Portland, 2 people were just shot by ICE or some type of federal FBI.
I was going to say, but in Chicago, one of the main people going against his budget is now running for mayor, right? So it's like, you know.
But yeah, 2 people just got shot tonight by federal agents in Portland. And so this is what I'm going to say. I know that we don't have a lot of time, but I want the American people to think. We are less than 8 weeks from our primaries here in North Carolina and in many places, right? If their goal is to disrupt the midterm elections, disrupting the midterms is probably a part of that plan. If we go out and have a lot of civil unrest, I am not saying sit back and cool your heels, but what I am saying is be cognizant that the desire to declare martial law and to disrupt our democratic process is very high. And so we have to.
You know where that's at? It's written down. You know where that's written down at?
In Project 2025.
Right there.
Yeah. And so like they've given us the playbook. And so when Tim Walz said yesterday, do not take the bait. I heard Tim, I read through the lines though. I know roll your eye, but I read through the lines. I heard what he was saying, which is they want to come in here and take over. They want to disrupt our day-to-day lives. They want to put us under military control, right? And for what point and purpose? To disrupt these elections, because they know that people are disgruntled. People are upset with this administration. That even, and I think my brother had a good point. The MAGA folks also are kind of feeling a little disillusioned by this, because not so much the ICE situation,
right,
but the Maduro situation. Because
America first.
How is this America
and Israel,
first?
right?
How is this the America? How are you prioritizing Americans? How are we being centered as white people if you're continuing this foreign policy around the world? And so there is some disillusion amongst the Trump's people who are feeling a little left out, that neoconservatism has won once again. And what this shows is this, that because the political system is made up of money, and the top players play both sides, right? They bet on both sides of the house.
Oh yeah.
Right? So it's rigged, right? The house never loses.
That's right.
We have to look at this like Vegas, where whoever's at the top of this political infrastructure, they never lose, regardless of who's in office. They never lose. And so we are the ones who are fighting each other tooth and nail to see each other as different, when we really want the same things. Even if you want to not live next to other ethnicities and races, right? You still want those. You should want those people to live in safe neighborhoods, because what you should recognize is that your safety is conditional to theirs.
But they don't have
they
to.
Gonna leave
but that's the privilege
and come over
to not know that. But that's a privilege to not know that, right?
To not know.
We could dovetail here at the end, but like, so we were talking about these midterm elections, right? Again, me and Rom at the end of our last episode, we were talking about these congressional or Senate candidates that are running, and people are excited. They're like, "Oh, it's going to be a blue wave." But I think, and Kristie, tell me if I'm wrong, that a bad plan is better than no plan. What I mean by that is the Republican Party offers. We talked about it a few minutes ago. That they offer their base something. So what we did after we were off air, we were just talking and just kind of riffing. Who was the first person we looked up? Oh, it was Roy Cooper.
Roy Cooper.
And I'm like, okay, Roy Cooper. My personal kind of picadillo with this person is that he is running on a warmed over milquetoast. Like, I'm not a Republican. You remember me? I'm old Roy from the. But we are at a time. Where people are getting shot in the fucking face. We're at a time where people are getting disappeared. We're at a time where people are losing their health care. Are you willing to fight for these things? And so we went on his website. I said, well, let's look at his policies. This is his policy with his policy page. Meet Roy Cooper. That was the governor of North Carolina. I was blah, blah, blah. Here's me with some people. Go ahead, Ron.
There's no policy. There's no policy. I mean, really,
Give me some money.
This is it. This is the extent of it. Like, there's no anything.
And I was like, yo. So I was like,
he's not Tom Tillis is his platform.
I'm not Tom Tillis, right? So then here. So now I was like, all right, cool. Now pull up a Republican that's running for governor.
Oh, they got a whole platform.
Come on now, pull up.
I already know.
Byron Donalds, our favorite man servant.
He done laid out the platform, the planks.
Come on,
and everything.
This short experiment we did at the end of our episode was galling. I was like, this. Look at it. If you stand back, you can just read the red, enact this, expand. Now it's all lies, right? It's all to help the wealth class, but they could at least say
giving people something to hold on to.
But they could at least say that.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna tell you what Roy is dependent upon.
Nostalgia.
Roy, as you know, he's the most winningest Democrat in North Carolina history. He's never lost an election. He has won when everyone else on the down the ballot lost, right? His name is embedded in North Carolinians, emblazoned in our minds. I don't think he thinks, and he knows that North Carolina is such an important state that the money is going to be flowing. And so I think he feels like he doesn't have to do as much. Like,
is that smart, do you think? After everything we just seen, sure shots.
No, I don't think it's ever smart to think to think that you got it. I don't think it's ever smart to think like, oh, we in there. I do think that he needs to do a lot more listening and maybe to community and putting some of those concerns up on his website and really be able to articulate. I know he's doing some town halls and things like that. Like there's one in Gastonia that I'll be going to, and we're gonna have some questions. Part of some of this is up on us too, right? To press him.
Sure.
Who do you care about and what do you care about? But to your point, we do need energy on the side of freedom and liberation. We need people who are speaking to us, about us, for us, and are not backing down. And who also are willing to do the work of organizing and relationship building so that we can create our own systems of mutual aid, our own systems of whatever. 600,000 women lost their jobs in 2025. 600,000 Black women.
Black women, right.
Black women. And no one's crying. No one is like raising an alarm about this. And so those Black women have had to create community, have had to create networks to rely on each other. When we needed to get free, we created an Underground Railroad, a network.
Freedom schools.
We've always had our own infrastructure. Even, let me just say this really quickly. I know this is not a popular opinion, but we can talk about drugs and drug dealers all we want. But there's an economist that did a study, analysis of the 2008 housing crisis. And what he found was, had it not been for drugs and drug dealers, the American economy would have crashed worse than the Depression. The drug dealers were the only people who had cash flow. Nobody had no money, but drug dealers did. And so the housing had crashed, the cars had crashed, and money was an issue. But the Black market is what kept the American economy afloat. And so what that teaches us is there is a space and a place for everybody in our community, that there is a way for us to incorporate everyone into our community, because everyone has a value and a benefit, whether we recognize it on the top or the bottom. Oh, there it is.
Drug money saved banks in global crisis, claims UN advisor.
Come on.
But I'm 100% in agreement with you, and I think this is where I get, I remember the 2016. I remember the 2024 election where we're like, oh, we got this. So the reason I'm saying all this is that, like, we were done talking in our last episode, and I said none of us are from New York City. None of us could vote in New York City. But I guarantee if you pulled someone from Wisconsin, what are the three things, at least three of the four things that Mom Dime was running on? They could tell you that, or they could tell you free and fast busing, freeze the rent, community grocery stores, and universal child care. I can't tell you what these people who have a sunk cost fallacy in their minds, like a Roy Cooper, and that's very dangerous at a time where extremism reigns supreme, and extremism and hatred can motivate a lot of people. So that is something that does concern me. It's like, okay, well, what are you going to do beyond not be a Republican? Because that's how you get That's how you have a captured vote.
Yeah, because we looked at James Tallarico, we looked at Jasmine Crockett, we looked at
Jasmine Crockett. Sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, and you're and Jasmine didn't have nothing either.
I mean, we're gonna look at it, and this is a problem because then we started going back and forth, and I'm like, people need to know this because if you're not demanding. Well, if you're not demanding anything from your Democrat, from whoever your representative is, then you can't be upset when they don't deliver. Like, well, I was never going to try to get you voted. Never going to try to get you universal healthcare.
That's it.
Well, first of all, see, if I don't see no bullet points, you ain't serious.
That's the thing, because people that's how people, that's how people focus.
But right now,
paragraphs. That's a very unserious campaign website. A serious campaign
she's
website.
Running on. I'm not running against. I'm running against Trump. Trump hates me. That's what she's running on, right? James Tallarico.
But that can't just be it.
I agree. I'm 100%. So to be very clear, I'm 100% in agreement with you. But
that can't be just it.
And here goes Tallarico.
The donation's crazy. Why?
Dang! I got to get money first, sir.
Yes.
I'm running.
He's got I don't see no bullet points. I don't want to see it. I don't see no bullet points.
He said it's time to start flipping tables, but you see.
Learn more. Let's see. Okay. Nope. Still paragraphs. I need bullet points.
But there's nothing about policy. I mean, there's nothing about
That's what I'm saying. That's
what
your point is. I'm going to do this under reentry services. This.
I was
health and human services. This. Like, nah. Well, and this is the thing, y'all. The American people support this, right? Like, they are going to vote for these folks and not require. I think what we do is in North Carolina, especially, the majority of folks are unregistered.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is an untapped. Now, see, look at that. You see them drop downs?
Look at that. Bullet, and they're all bullshit. But still, boom, boom, boom. Right.
That's it. And you can click on one and read more about it, but you know he cares about public safety. This is well done.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. The Monroe mayor, is that the one that resigned? Or?
This is his protege.
His side.
It's actually his handler.
Okay.
His side.
Okay. Because I've been kind of following a little bit of that drama. Y'all, that mayor was off the chain.
He was trying to kill me. It was me specifically.
He was trying to kill you?
Me.
He sent the Klan after
your boy. Yes.
The Klan.
The Ku Klux. Okay.
That is hilarious. That is so funny.
Never get me them Clue and them Kluxes up in there. Okay.
The Clue and the Klux. I wish I had known that party at your house.
That's all right. Hey, look, nothing happened because at the end of the day, we said earlier they're all cowards. But
I just
think it's a problem.
I watched Medgar Evers' story the other day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But those are the real Klan. I mean,
I've been a little hyped ever since then. And that's why I was like, that's, you know what though? They are cowards, but they are efficient, right? And I do think that we need that this side does need to take some points from the other side's book. What I've said for a long time is what makes Donald Trump so popular is that he does not care about what's the status quo. He's a good leader, not that he has good policies, but he's a good leader and he listens to what his base cares about and he delivers. They said they cared about those 10,000 people coming across the border every single day and that Joe Biden wasn't providing any assistance for, right? The people, American people on both sides cared about that issue, right? And he responded to that. Now, did he respond the right way? In our estimation, no, but he did respond. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what he does do well, is he is responsive to, and now his base also, he feeds his base and all of those things, and they feed him back.
It's its own tail thing.
Yeah, but it's nefarious, right?
Right.
But because the policies are. But if he was doing that for the good, right, then we would say, oh, he's an amazing leader. He's getting things done for his people. And so what we have to take, I think what Democrats need to get rid of is trying to be respectable.
Oh,
that shit is
we were just talking about that before you got on. Like
they gotta go.
We don't
care. I want to be respected. I want to talk about being respectable.
Correct.
And I think that is the distinction that we have to make. They are the party of respectability. And God bless Michelle Obama. I don't want to talk about Michelle, but she should have tapped into the South Side of Chicago and gone to hell on folks instead of taking that high road. That high road is what led us to this bullshit.
Even the mayor of Minneapolis. But it took, this woman getting killed.
White woman getting killed. Because he didn't say that about George Floyd. Excuse me, Lord.
Because and also just a reminder, like ICE has shot many people in the past.
They shot a black
right?
man.
So
I just found out now in LA.
They shot a Mexican American woman,
Chicago, right?
a Mexican American woman 5 times in Chicago and tried to charge her, and then they dropped the charges. And then they shot, and they made up a whole story about how she tried to hit them. So like, and then the cameras don't show that, right? And then they shot a Mexican man in Chicago and killed him, right? Last week in New Year's Eve, which I just found out about today, they shot an off-duty ICE agent shot a black man and killed him because he was shooting guns, I guess, into the air on New Year's Eve. But like, so he just can't come in and decide he was going to kill this man. So like,
because
this is the first time, but you would
fireworks.
You would think that by this response that this was the first time that ICE had shot somebody. You would think this is the first time they killed somebody. People are dying in custody, right? And so when we talk about violence, against white people, physical violence, they're doing more than physical violence. They're killing people with their policies.
And we're not used to this. And what we're not used to doing is it being live streamed. I think that's where this was also like this was in real time. Like it was happening right there. And we were watching it as it unfolded. In other situations, we have to rely on the news to report it or to pick it up.
Portland,
and
we don't know
right. And so and so this by social media is why this kind of blew up. And to your point, if we look at when a black person kills a white person, they get more time than if they kill somebody black.
Yep.
Right? More people
16% longer sentence.
Longer sentences. So our court system does not value black bodies, whether as victims or as defendants. Black people are not valued. And so that continues to be reverberated, and that message continues to be shown every single day. When I saw the mayor cussing, I said, "Is he cussing like this on the TV?" I was like, "He's mad."
But he said it like in a very like 90210, like get the fuck out of here.
I thought he said it pretty G personally. Like I was
I
like,
did too.
he hit that tone. I was like,
here. And then today they arrested 2 more people in Target. So like I hear you, but like as we talked about, but I think what's ailing this movement is that even the white liberal men, again, you can stand behind the podium and I have power, I have control. You are not in your community saying this shit. You're saying this behind, and then they can say you're liberal because they've already deemed you as a nigger lover. They've deemed you as someone who is against the cause. They've deemed you as someone who is going to stop the progression of white male supremacy, and then therefore we can kill Renee. We can disregard Fry. We can lie on Tim Walz. We can do all this shit to make you afraid. Now, if you were standing 10 toes down, you would go to where your people are.
That's right.
And not say this shit in front of a mic. And I said so on the show at the time, like when Joe Biden was talking at Mother AME Church, saying that the number 1 threat to democracy is white supremacy, and everybody in the church started clapping. Great, go say that shit at a white church. Black people know that shit. Like we need
we know that.
You got to do that work.
Cousins at the Thanksgiving table.
That's where we need you to do that at, right?
They're
so like,
there's
a level of like, I hear that, and that is cool that he's saying that. But like, what did it move? And now 2 American citizens got arrested today in Target.
We got arrested today in Target
by ICE. So they got detained by ICE today. They're 2 Latino young men. They're both U.S. citizens, and they got thrown to the ground, belly scraped across the gravel, and it was all live streamed as well. So, like when we say how strong that is, and then the reason I rolled my eyes about Tim Walz earlier, as I talk about where is these big strong white men, you backing down. They were able to get a lie on you because of how you didn't respond to fraud or whatever, and you backing down. Where are these tough men at?
Well, did you see how the Minneapolis police are complaining that they're being shut out of this? The FBI shut them out of the investigation around the shooting.
I think I heard something about that.
So it's like law enforcement is shutting other law. This is how.
But ICE is in law enforcement. Or you're talking about the FBI? The FBI.
Well, the FBI.
The FBI is shutting them out.
Yeah, the FBI is shutting them out of the investigation. And generally, when a shooting happens by a federal agent, in a jurisdiction, yes, they have jurisdiction, but they also coordinate with the local cops on the ground. And they're not doing that at all. And so there's this chasm now between local law enforcement and
that's
the
a big
feds.
problem. That's a big problem.
That's a problem. Like, we've not seen this type of.
I was telling Ron about this earlier today. I said about the whole idea that, and then JD Vance also said earlier today or yesterday that what we're seeing right now with ICE raids is that's going to ramp up because we're going to get more people into ICE online, and we're going to start going door to door, knocking door to door. ICE does not have the jurisdiction over any U.S. citizen. But when you start saying these people start becoming police, then what are you? Because if you're police, then be police, because police have a certain police have a certain accountability, right? You got to show your face, badge number, and if that is that's how the Nazis ramped up. It wasn't just gas chambers. First, it was detainees. Then it was the but then the German government said that they are above reproach. You cannot do anything, and that's what we're getting into. That's why I'm like,
saying that they said they have immunity. They said today. He said that they have immunity, so so now that the FBI is blocking them out, there is potentially no accountability if the Minnesota state cannot press those. So what it does is it sets a precedent. Basically saying that there will not be accountability, there will not be justice through the justice system.
For this,
so what it tells the people is that the only way you're going to get justice is to take it into your own hands. Like, that's how I perceive what's actually happening. Because where do you see justice? And that's how it's always been throughout history. You get your justice. There is no justice promised to you. If you get you're going to get killed, and no one's going to come. No one's going to save you. That's where we're headed to. So. One thing I thought was interesting in this Portland, I was just kind of reading this is from a Portland local website, but they said at 2:24, officers received information that a man who had been shot was calling. So the man who got shot was calling, and they found a male and a woman with gunshot wounds, and then they said it was federal agents were involved. So I find it interesting that
the federal agents shot them, and they called 911.
The victims called 911.
Yes, called 911.
So, which is crazy, right? So who knows what's going on here? And this is in a neighborhood. This is in a neighborhood. They're not police officers. They're not even trained. They're not trained to be on. They're not trained to be on.
They don't know. But the same way cops don't know the fucking law, right? To be honest, like, so, and these people who were not smart enough to become police officers or join the military, they end up becoming ICE officers and getting a gun and getting this level of respect. And before we go, I know we're about an hour. I do have one final clip to show you how close to home this stuff is hitting. This is in North Carolina. I don't know if you've seen this, Kristie. This is in North Carolina.
The two.
Yeah, you saw that one?
Oh, when they just reached into their car and tried to jerk their phones out their hands. Yeah, I seen that this morning.
Here we go. So here it
is. It was wild.
Let's check this out.
Just drive the. Excuse me, God.
You're detained right now, sir.
No, we're not detained. They haven't told us we're detained.
They didn't say nothing about I'm telling you right now, you're
detained. No, we're not detained. Nope.
Now you gonna learn. Say hell no.
Look.
I got that too on recording already. And you are not allowed to do this.
They're not detained.
Get off the phone. Turn the phone off. Say it again.
Hey. Mira. Get out.
Hang on 1 second. If you hurt us, we'll put it on law.
Yeah.
Put your hands here.
Come on.
You want to go in cuffs? Come on.
Come on.
Hey, what? Come on.
All right.
Put your hands up. Interfere. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
There's always a Stephen. There's always a Stephen from Django.
And there was more in the beginning of that, to where there was no there was nothing that led up to that or justify that escalation.
You can't detain people. Who
right.
For what? Because they don't, because you have a funny accent, or because you say, like, you're not saying confidently enough, because you're not confidently saying you're from America. You were born in America. Oh, where were you born? You weren't born here. So yeah, they might have to shoot me if I'm sorry.
Well, let me tell you, I've had encounters with ICE. I've had encounters with ICE. I have been an ICE verifier here in Mecklenburg County since about 2017. And so I would say earlier in 2025, when Trump had first got inaugurated, I think ICE had showed up here in Charlotte, not with the Border Patrol, but just ICE. And so we had some raids. I think it was in the spring because it was pretty warm. And so I had looked at the signal and I saw that it's near my house where supposedly there's this ICE site. And so I don't see ICE. But as I'm driving away, I see all of these kind of different cars in like a parking lot. And you know how they could drive. One to be a Charger, one is an SUV, one is a van.
One's
so
a minivan, right?
Yeah, it was like a lot of them. So I said, oh, I think that's
One's a
nice over
jitney.
there. So I pull into the parking lot. But I don't go near them. I go and park, but I can see them in my rear view mirror. ICE comes and knocks on my damn window. Because we're the only people in this parking lot. So I let the window down. He's talking about, can I help you? I told him, can I help you? You came and knocked on my damn window. I didn't ask you for nothing. You came over here asking me. And I think it kind of threw him off because I know that I'm racially ambiguous. I know that he thought,
and they definitely don't know. Like they're looking at you. Oh, okay, she might say your name. What's her name?
And so I got real hood. I was like, what? You knocked on my window.
Okay, hold on. She might be with a Negro.
But if you said something like, if you were like, no, I'm laying less, then they would have pulled your ass out. Like
that's what I'm saying. And he literally turned around and walked away. And so what I know is that they will try to assert themselves as law enforcement. But as soon as you let them know that I ain't for that dumb shit.
The Supreme Court blessed it. It's a Kavanaugh law, right? So now you can look brown.
And that's the problem. That's the
Ethiopian,
problem. Is that,
Somalian.
And this, but this is why, last thing I'll say is that there is an urgency that we have to move with. And there is a level of like, Roy Cooper, are you going to try to abolish ICE? Are you going to do
no.
Okay, so
I don't look at January. I'm not looking to January 2029.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you want my vote. You want my vote, don't you?
He's got to say something. He got to say something. He's playing it safe. He's just playing it safe.
Well, what he's going to say is whether I abolish ICE or not, the other voting, not casting a vote, is casting a vote for the other side.
We already have a Republican. We have two Republicans.
And they're going to keep ICE.
Okay, so then we have to fight ICE.
Well, I guess what I would say to you is, did that work out for Palestine? Because they said the same thing. They were going to be these one issue voters.
I'm not saying we wouldn't vote for
I'm just saying, I don't think we can stand on one issue as it relates to this.
We're saying Nazis in the street in our streets. We're saying literal.
I think this is. I still think this is the issue because this is the issue, the precursor to
but y'all
martial law.
People ain't gonna do nothing about that. I guess you got to get real in the reality of if you're looking for either party.
It's easy to say abolish ICE.
I think if you're looking for either party.
It's American policy, right? It's an American.
They're not gonna do that.
It's American policy. But what we're saying is though, what I said earlier though, if you don't demand anything, then they can't let you down.
I think you should demand it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I guess what I am saying is demanding it without putting action behind it is just words. We've been demanding stuff. Where is and if you don't do it, this is what's going to happen. Because the demand has been there. They know what we want, but we have. So I know Roy don't like a lot of pressure. So when I wanted him to use clemency he did not use clemency the first 4 years. He did not let anybody out of prison. And when I talked to them, they said, "Oh, we don't know Trump," and they was mealy mouthed. Okay, they said we just need to be patient. I said, okay, we're gonna be patient. We're gonna be patient. We're gonna let you win this election. And then the day after he won, we were in front of his house, and we were in front of his house. Hold on, Ron. We were in front of his house for 68 days. And what did that accomplish? It meant that he used his clemency powers that he sat on for 4 years for the first time because he felt sustained pressure. We couldn't just send a letter like we did on the first day and say, we believe you should let these people out. We did do that, but we also followed up that letter with action. So if you're going to make a demand, you got to, like if I'm going to threaten you, like I'm going to punch you in your face, when you say, okay, I got to be ready to punch you in your face. Oftentimes what we say is a demand, but we're not ready to punch when they're not ready to do it. If they say no, we go, okay. So if you're going to make a demand, you also have to be organizing for what after the call to action. So you make a call to action, do this thing. What is the sustained organizing around that? And that's what has to be clear, because the demands of what people want, that's really clear. What's not clear is the path to get to those things. And so I think what we have to do is lay out for our people that there's a demand, but this is how we get them to respond to our demand. So are we going to go to Roy's house in Raleigh? Are we going to go to his apartment in Washington if he's not doing what we want? Like, what are you going to do? Because saying I demand this,
I agree a lot with what you're saying, but like ICE and CBP is the issue. This is like the primary, the private army. This is, and I'm not saying that I share the same exact view as Payron in terms of like, it needs to be abolished ICE, but you say they know what we want. Josh Stein says, well, if ICE was, going and getting the criminals, or CBP is getting the criminals and everything's okay. They're not doing that. Like the statistics
a lot of
say
ifs.
they're
A lot of
not.
ifs.
So then what are you going to do? You've made the demand of Josh Stein, right?
Mhm.
What are you going to do to put your foot on Josh Stein's neck? That's the question. It ain't about the demand. It's about what is the sustained action. I'm going to tell you, these folks do not like sustained action. They like when you just hit them and go off, hit them and go off. But when you keep punching their ass, they're going to do something different. So what is your punches going to look like? Are you just going to do jabs? You doing uppercuts? What are you going to do? And that is the question. It is on us. We, the people.
Right.
We, the people. We keep looking to the hills and to the heavens for our response when it is us. It is on us. We have the power to do and to be, but we have to make a decision that we're willing to get uncomfortable too. But I'm looking for the first wave of uncomfortability people to go, and then I'll be in the pushing up the rear. Right? Seriously, because no, I'm being dead serious. Because I have been on the front lines for many, many years. I need some other people. I need to rest and heal my feet that's got the corns and the bunions and the blisters from years of marching. Right? You see what I'm saying? And so I guess what I'm saying is, like, y'all are not wrong that these folks need to do what we need them to do. What I'm saying is, it is wrong for us to continually talk about it and not have a plan of what we're going to do. And what I mean by that is wrong. When we say, okay, we're going to go to Josh Stein and we're going to do this, people look at us like, you're going to do what? So what you want to do then?
I understand what you're saying. And like, I agree with, like, for example, after what happened yesterday, and there's protests happening tonight. I think that a protest that is sustained from, like, things that are sustained and then build upon what's starting tonight.
We need to take our tax money,
continue to grow, and I still think that we need to figure out how to stop economically, how to shut the shit down,
tax exempt for 6 months,
start to
when you start talking about that, niggas be like, "Oh, I don't know about the IRS." What you mean?
Right.
What you so you can't?
Where do you want your tax dollars to go?
Where do you want? Because they don't have the ability to spend the money if you don't give it to them. And so if you don't want ICE to have a budget, if you don't want Netanyahu to get $80 billion, then withhold your money, right? That is something that we could do or a general strike. Why aren't we generally striking? The French have taught us what to do when we want to get stuff done. The people just don't go to work.
I mean, and to the point about tax exempting, if people had all changed it to a 1 to a 0, whatever it is, right? Like, and we don't pay, like, they can't catch all, like, they can't get all, like, they're not even as good as you think they are, right? The IRS, and they cut an IRS.
Doge done cut all those people.
Because how they gonna have the money to process it? I'm not even suggesting that you do it for, like, ever. I'm saying even 3 months of them not getting your taxes, right, is enough. I don't know. I'm not a financial analyst, but there's somebody out there who could say what would bring the U.S. to its knees if everybody went tax exempt for how many months? 4 months, 5 months? Like, we already know Fort Knox ain't got no gold. We already know they just printing out fucking money they ain't got there, right? So,
neoliberalism.
Like, and then we withholding ours. Are we prepared though too, right? Are we prepared to give up some of the comforts? I don't think we on this side, we're pretty comfortable too, y'all. Right? We're pretty comfortable with, and what I mean by that is, it is scary to put your liberty on the line, to think about going tax exempt and the IRS coming after you and levying all of these things and can take your money, because the IRS has been very aggressive, right, for tax evaders over the years.
But you have to small people.
Right, for small people. But we have to move beyond that fear. Our ancestors were afraid to get registered to vote, but they moved beyond that fear. And a lot of them got put off of their land from sharecropping and lost everything just to go and put an X.
Some were killed.
Some of them were killed.
Right.
Fannie Lou Hamer was beaten.
Right.
And so I, as Black people too, we have to understand that the dog is going to bite, the hose is going to burn. And we're going to have to feel some of that too. I don't think we have to be the first line again.
Absolutely.
I do believe we might can be second, third, and fourth line.
We don't put our skin in the game.
We have. But we do need to, and so maybe this is a thing, y'all. Maybe we come up, what is the people's agenda for Royce Cooper? What does that look like? And I know it's ICE and Border Patrol and how we spend our money, like, around, like, foreign affairs and the over militarization.
But right now, it's nothing. He has nothing. So to your point is, what do we offer him to say?
What do we offer?
Are you willing to do this? And can you put this on your platform? Can you repeat these things? And if not, we will hold you to account by doing demonstrations. We will hold you to account by,
not voting for you.
But then again, but then that goes back to the argument of like the Palestine thing. So like,
right? Yeah, but that's a threat though. That's the threat.
And all I was trying to say was, can we threaten him with that? That's all. That's my whole thing is like, can I threaten motherfucker? Can I threaten this motherfucker with that? I know he a white boy and a lawyer. He believes in this system. He thinks this is a good country.
They don't want you at their house. They don't want you heckling at their kids. They don't want you hollering. They don't want that. Well, but see, people do it in front of their offices. And then when you see the indivisible people, no tea, no shade, they had their little signs, and then they had the costumes on. And then when I see you out there with a banana suit, I'm not taking you serious at this point. No. Because you have come out here with a whole ass dinosaur
suit
on,
with an inflatable suit. Yeah.
And I'm not mad at it.
We have to continue applying pressure.
A little unserious.
No, you're right.
We should have you back on for a strategy session.
No, this is good.
Yes. Very sustained pressure. I'm telling you,
start getting people strategic thinking.
The war of psychological warfare in politics.
But it has to start
not physical.
And it's always it's agitate, educate, motivate, right? And so the first part is what we're talking about. Get people pissed. Why are your tax dollars going to ICE? Why are your tax dollars not going to your education? Why are your tax dollars
and not just that, we don't have a budget right now in the state.
That's a good point.
The teachers are not getting a raise. Nothing is being funded at the level that it needs to because it's still being funded under 2024 and 2025 numbers, right? And we know that prices have risen. And so our state is not even running effectively or efficiently, right? It's not functioning properly. And so we have a lot to focus on as North Carolinians. Yes, we have the primaries coming up in less than 8 weeks, but we also have so much happening around our infrastructure or the lack of. And so, there's lots of demands that we could have. I think what we could do is folks like us who are privileged enough to read the articles and have the space to analyze and critique and opine, that we create the short blurbs that the masses can take in. Did you know your city council did this? Did you know this is happening? Kind of like a report that, and I don't think about what that looks like. Like the state
I send you a couple we did for, we used to do it for the school board meetings.
Oh, that'd be great.
I actually had a conversation today with the county chair, right, about how do we actually get people at each of these in the county and then distribute that information to people in a way that in a format they can understand. Actually, I don't know if you noticed, but like I ran for mayor, like with I did a write-in campaign in 7 days before the election, but I got to talk to a lot of the people on election day. I ended up with 13% of the vote, which in like in 7 day span, right? But like I talked to people, I talked to the people outside.
14 days, you'd have been in there.
They have no idea. Like the main thing is like
26%.
People they don't know what's actually going on. Like they don't go to all these meetings. Like they just
it's name recognition
in a medium that reaches the masses, and it's multiple mediums.
So there's questionnaires, folks do and have. So we could do a question. What if I think that might be the most efficient thing? Ask the question, develop a questionnaire of issues that we care about, and send those to the campaigns, and then we publish it. And the only thing about questionnaires is you have to send it to every candidate, both Democrat and all the candidates, and then you can't place one candidate more prominently than the other. Everybody has to have the same amount of space, spaced out right. So Roy Cooper picture can't be big and somebody else picture real small, like that type of stuff, because it sways. It's like electioneering is what they'll call it.
Sure.
But if we put the questions and their responses, your website does not say this, right? So this is the only way people will know where you stand on these platforms. And people shouldn't have to attend an in-person event and shake your hand and risk COVID and flu.
Word is from I'm dying. I never met the man, and I've been in New York in several months. But guess what? I knew what he stood for. That is very important. And I think as Democrats, that's not super progressive. It's not super liberal. It's standing for something. It's having authenticity.
And we've gotten away from to your point. I think y'all are making some really good points where the Democrats have defaulted to just not being Republican, and that's not good enough.
It's not going to work.
We need to know clearly what you care about, who you care about. We need to know who your people be. Are we the people you care about?
Who all over there?
Who all over there? That's what we need to know. But I appreciate y'all. This conversation, as always, is I love it. I love how we go back and forth and kind of challenge one another. And I really like that we are going to come up with something that we can do to feel better as we move into the November elections.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a real and to. This is a big tent party. I mean, right? Like the Democrats are a big tent party, but I do believe that the way we ask questions can elicit, answers and responses that show individual identity groups where they fit into these policy agendas.
We got to build that tent pole. Kristie, where can people find you?
Yeah, so Kristie is on Instagram at Kristie_1979. I'm on Facebook, just my name, Kristie Puckett. And I'm not really a Twitter person anymore. It's like a cesspool over there.
You're not on X? About Threads? Are you a threader?
Yeah, I'm on Threads. I am on Threads.
Okay, you be threading.
I'll be threading. I kind of like Threads. Threads is not. I couldn't get into Blue Sky. There's no tea, no shade on Blue Sky, but it was kind of difficult.
I tried Blue Sky. Right.
To get my little feet wet, but yeah. That's my page. Thank y'all. Oh, look at my boyfriend.
And then the show, right?
Oh yes, and the show. Lord, I keep forgetting it's so new. So on YouTube, it's
the
expat and the activist, or the activist and the expat.
It's AE. Even I remember.
Okay,
that.
so it's the activist.
Shame on you. It's your own damn show. It's
the
y'all shut up. Y'all, it's the activist and the expat. That's the name of the damn show. That's the name of the damn show.
And we discuss issues kind of like this.
Yep.
But we also, it's a brother and a sister. And we try to talk about it from a world context, because I do believe that Americans have been shielded from the reality. Since I was able to get my passport, I had to go to the State Department, do all kind of actions because of my criminal record. But once I got my passport and was able to travel the world, my mind has really been expanded.
Yeah.
America will have you believing that these countries are poor and run down. And
America's the best.
Baby, we over here in the hood ghetto.
This is a fifth world country.
We cannot have nice things over here because we think we good and we really not. And so we talk about Trump a lot. Because what we have discovered is that people around the world are very interested in what Americans are thinking about Trump, because the media does not portray him in a bad light the American media does not portray him as bad. And so when they try to watch American media, they're not really getting how American people feel. And so we are trying to fill a void, and we want them to know how American descendants of slaves feel. So that's a whole different perspective. And I also particularly want to talk about how Black people in the South are faring under this regime, and to let folks know that, Black people in the South, we are 56% of 56% of Black people in America live here in the South, right? The majority of Black people live in the South, and that is why the South, you see the South being underfunded, underinvested in, Jackson not having any water. That's because Black people live here, and none of us have nice things, white people included, because they don't want Black people to have nice things. We got student loans because they don't want Black people to go to school. We can't have low interest rates because they don't want Black people.
No healthcare.
We can't have free universal.
And never forget, we're the only people on this soil that didn't ask to be here. We're the only ones.
And when they say go back, we would go back if we had somewhere to go to.
Y'all done look at me. Both my parents is brown skin. Y'all done bred the hell out of us. So this is not my problem.
Where I'm going.
Hey, your grandparents were slaves. My grandparents were the masters. Clearly, my grandparent was the master too. So I should get some of that money. It's like you know what I mean? Because clearly, look at this, right? But no,
Kristie,
it was a pleasure. And you're always a ball of energy and always a ball of fun, always a wealth of knowledge.
Thank y'all.
And I always appreciate.
And maybe we'll do a collab of the shows one day.
Hey, listen now, listen.
So we can have all of us on.
We got a new platform here. We're doing all right.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. What does the mashup look like?
All right. Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll get on before the primaries and see where we're at then. See if anybody got anything up on the website at that point. But Kristie,
all right.
We'll talk to you soon, and be good.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye. See you. Bye. That was Kristie Puckett. Again, it was like maybe 8-9 months ago we had her on.
Yeah. It had to be. Well, you said before you left the chair seat,
was in April.
so it had to be about March, April. So almost a year.
I
mean, look, we've been doing it for just about a little over a year.
What was the first episode? So we passed our anniversary.
Oh yeah, it was like the 30th of 2024 was the first episode. So
so it was before the new year.
So just before the new year. Yep.
I thought it was after the new year.
And we did a test run like December 20th or something.
Because that's right. We were getting ready for January 6th, right?
Yeah,
and then we're
we
getting
did
ready
an
for
episode January 6th.
Yeah,
and we got ready for the inauguration. I mean, if you look at our page, our previous episodes, we talked about the end of democracy as we knew it. We talked about ICE, early on. It's. I don't look towards 2029, January 2029. I don't really have a lot of faith in that.
I'm not trying to be right. I hear what you're saying, but it ain't looking too froggy. But hey, it was still a good conversation. And these are the conversations we need to have, right? Because it cannot be doom and gloom, but also we have to have a little bit of realism. We just can't fall into cynicism where nothing matters, and we just want to be against anything.
It's that strategy part, right? I mean, we can't just sit here and
I still think Roy Cooper needs to have some shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all the Democrats. I mean,
come on,
candidates. I mean, when people say like they can't find people, like again, I was out there talking to people, and they're like, I can't find anything on any of the candidates. I don't even know who this person is running for mayor. And he's on the ballot. Like I couldn't find anything on him either. Like he's been in the city council
when you were running
15 years, for 15 years, right? And the people who are running for mayor in some of these local elections, and so it's just to me, and I could get it. Like there's people, especially like your core base, who are older. They might be older. They might not be using the computer as much, but there's people who are looking on the internet. Like that's the easiest way to people to understand, who people are, what they're running, what they run for, what they stand for. And it's a tool that it's crazy to me that like you wouldn't leverage that to get your messaging out. And I think the other thing about Mamdani, and obviously it's New York and you're going to get a lot of attention, but I think besides having a platform is like the ability to stick to a message, right? And so when they throw these, these gotcha questions at you, like he just flips it back and brings it back on message, like that's an art.
That is,
I think a lot of people like. I think
that was a skill.
Like,
right.
Yeah, because like Jasmine Crockett, she'll go toe to toe on some of these questions instead of just kind of deflecting it, and and I think that's something that it would be hard for me to do.
Oh man, no question. No question.
So so just to learn that, I think will go a long way.
Yeah, I think we have to raise the ante, because I think when we come from a politics of deprivation, where it's like, well, if not, it's going to be this guy, and it's like we kind of already got that guy, And I'm not saying like it shouldn't be like it's the bad boyfriend syndrome. I've talked about this before. Like, if I ain't gonna give you shit, but I'm gonna try to go get this other girl over here. And if you complain about it, what you gonna do? You're gonna go to him, the other guy who's a murderer, and it's like, well, but can't you be a better guy? I need you to be a better guy. That's all I'm asking you to be, is a better guy.
And I think that for Democrats or progressives or who people are listening, it's more and more Democrats that are, quote unquote, moving left, that are starting to understand like,
right,
this whole center shit is not like it's not a real thing, right? Like it's not standing for anything.
Donald Trump would allow kids to starve,
but these primaries are a prime opportunity for a lot of that now here. And there's no one. Roy Cooper's not running against anyone viable, right?
Are you sure? Are you sure, Ron?
But it is what it is. But I
sure?
think that doesn't mean that we don't hold these people accountable. And people say like, oh well, you can't say anything bad or make it like. Look, no one's gonna like if you sit here and listen to us and you decide that you're not going to vote for Roy Cooper. Well, one, I would be surprised if we have that much sway. But two, like criticism does not equal
non-support.
Non-support. But I do think we need to be more critical.
No question.
And if I don't think I would necessarily be super critical on October 31st of Roy Cooper. But yeah, exactly. But we got to stop thinking that like we just got to settle for these crumbs. And
thank you. That's all I was saying.
With no criticism, like no criticism whatsoever. Like Roy, get your site together. Jasmine, get your site together. James, get your site together.
Stand for something. That's all I'm asking for. Like, and you could be like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna stand for. Like, he could copy and paste what Kamala said.
They stand for things. Like there's not like James and Jasmine stand for things like they. So just put them on the site. Like Roy, I haven't even seen Roy. Like I don't know if I'm not looking hard enough or
I feel you. I don't know what the fuck going on.
But so I guess it's
he was at A&T's homecoming. I'm like, okay, well he's here doing what? Just hey y'all, remember his Daddy Roy. I'm like,
there's one thing that's going on. I think in Raleigh next week. It's nothing to do with Roy, but I don't know if it's this week or next week. But the Board of Elections is meeting in Raleigh to
like the state remove
more election sites at the HBCUs in North Carolina. So I don't know if people want to look that up, show up there, but the free and fair, the idea of free and fair election. When I say that there's no free and fair elections, like they're pulling away election sites that are accessible to college students, Black college students. That's what I'm talking about. That makes it continuously harder and harder to actually cast your vote, whether or not, the voting booths may be open. They might not be. We might be in martial law and this guy's going to try to shut down these elections. Like, I don't know. Like he said it. We're not just, and so everything this guy says is not just, he might say it's a joke. It starts off as a joke. Oh, I'm going to run for a third term. Now it's, then he gets a hat. 2028. Like, I don't think he's going to make it, but
that's also the shit to that exact point, man, where you're like, he's saying this shit. And what I'm saying is like, we can't have a level of like, yo, stop saying that shit that might have worked 20 years ago. Like, we need you to say some new shit now because they're saying some new shit. You know what I mean? They're saying we're gonna put all y'all in death camps. Well, I'm a centrist. It's like what? Like
they're calling the entire left domestic terrorists, right? And so where do you think that goes with that? Like it's not a joke. It's not just, that's rhetoric. It starts off as a joke. Remember how they started doing the salute? And that was a joke. And then now it's okay to do. Like please stop trying to gaslight us.
Well,
if you're a Democrat on the left, please stop being naive.
I'm gonna pull up here real quick before we go. Oh damn, I'll turn my mic off. Do you remember this, Rom? As you say that, I'm like, that's a good point.
What's your camera bouncing around?
Is it? Oh, I was typing. Sorry. Sorry. There we go. Let me share a screen here. Do you remember this? The same people. Do you remember this?
I do remember. Can you remind me of the context of this?
This is CPAC 2019 or 2020, maybe.
Really?
This is after January. This is after January 6th, actually. Mm-hmm. And this is when we were calling them domestic terrorists. And that is real. This is a real picture. We are all domestic terrorists. And I may clip this just to say it clearly, no stutters. This is what the Republican Party said. They had all the party had figures. That Ron DeSantis was here, Matt Gaetz. This is what they had. We are domestic terrorists. So as much as they want to say the radical left, I don't ever remember going to a Democratic, brunch and learn, and someone had, we are all domestic terrorists. So just be aware, this is what they call themselves post January 6th.
Yeah, and this is from 2022. It looks like August 8th, 2022. And the headline I'm reading from the Dallas Observer at CPAC: migration is an invasion, communism looms, and Trump's the most persecuted man in the U.S.
Do you see
all those things are like now have all come to fruition and have all evolved? Every single one of those points in that headline.
Do you see how if you don't take it serious and you try to middle it, you try to mediate it and moderate it, it all becomes, because they ramp it up. Because the thing about when you're abnormal and people are normal, when they know that you're normal, they know that you're going to expect them to eventually start acting normal again. So they could just be abnormal as long as they're like, well, you just expect me to just, as Obama said, the fever's going to break in 2012. Joe Biden, the fever's going to break in 2020. The fever is not going to fucking break. And if you're not saying, as Roy Cooper, these people who call themselves domestic terrorists that are shooting white women, I mean, fuck, you got to use it. This is group music. But if we can't say that, then the point of the government is to protect the people. And if the government is just like, I don't know, we got to be friends with the terrorists. The Democratic Party called Donald Trump a fascist for 24 months prior to the election, and now they're saying, well, we can he just ask us for help in Congress first?
And these agents that come from Texas, that come from all these other states that aren't even, so they go into these communities that aren't their communities. They don't know the community. They don't know the terrain. They don't know the people.
Right.
And they go in and they intimidate with their, their bulletproof vest and all their fucking gadgets and their guns and their toys. Right. And they come in through, their black SUVs and they talk shit. And they harass people, and they racially profile.
Say your name.
They racially profile.
Smell like
that
salsa.
They are terrorizing the communities. They're terrorizing Americans.
Are you an abuela?
They were the terrorists yesterday.
Are you a tia?
Hopping out the car.
Get in that car, woman.
Grabbing her shit.
You look like my bitch wife.
And then shooting her 4 times in the head, point blank range.
I bet she'll listen now.
A mom of a 6-year-old.
I fear for my life.
And I don't think it's a coincidence. Her name is Renee Good. I think that the world's trying to tell us
that's some karma right there.
So,
but this is the. Of course, I'm acting it out. But that is the psychological profile of these people. They're insecure. They're inferior. They are small men. They are abusive. And dare I say, isn't it weird that all the people, we're hearing about this male loneliness epidemic, and the same people that are complaining about a male loneliness epidemic are probably also the same people that are in the comments saying, well, fuck around and find out. She deserved it. She shouldn't hit. It's maybe if you just self-assess, why am I a fucking asshole? It's the same people. Am I right or am I right? It's the same kind of guys with the fucking haircuts, with the pictures of themselves.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a what do they call it? A type something type but the police, the people who become police officers have a
self-selective.
They tend to have a type. I forget what it's called, the word, but
they're a type, yeah. I ain't got no type. What are they talking about?
And these people, especially the ICE is like the B team, C team, D team,
L team.
These are the people who were rejected, and these are the people they want. They want people who are more renegade. They
need the money. They need their $50,000 bonus.
Right. They want people who are willing to bend the rules. They want people who they don't even have to train the rules.
Couldn't pass the psyche.
There's nothing more than they want than to make this person untouchable, right? And to say that like all of you have immunity to do what you want, because that's what they signaled on January 6th.
Absolutely.
1,500 terrorists. And they said you can have immunity as long as you come from me, like again, and to do whatever. Like these people are greenlit to actually commit violence moving forward. Like now, when January 2029 comes, let's just say we did have a free, fair election and he lost. What's to stop?
Now,
20,000 more people to come.
This is the question, though, Ron. Let's say he goes, he passes this, he leaves this mortal coil, and it's JD Vance.
That's it. Then we're done. It's all over. We're out of the. Once Trump's gone, everything's.
Oh, hear me out. Hear me out. Is now John Jefferson Davis Vance in his pants. He can't control the crowd, right? Do you think they're storming the Capitol for JD Vance?
No. I don't. But
guys, I'm telling you,
Erica Kirk,
maybe for Erica Kirk, for the sparklers,
Nick Fuentes. I don't know.
I know there's someone that can't. Did you see he's getting hate? Well, we'll get that in the next episode. But like he's getting a lot of hate from the right wing too, because he has an abuela, and they're like, those abuela genes are coming through. He's not full Aryan. It's like, damn,
he's
bro.
Mexican. He's half Mexican. Like,
damn, bro. Damn, bro. Like I saw this post from this straight up racist dude that said those abuela genes are strong, and it was like him and like looking really short, like with this like coat on. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. That's some fucked up shit. But you know what? When you lay down with dogs, you get fleas, folks. It has been a great episode.
One thing I know we're gonna let people go, and I just was like, since you might as well leave it going while I do this. But like,
what you got?
Listen to what they put it on. This is an ad that somebody played on the radio today. Let me just refresh it at the beginning here.
When the king does not rise, the kingdom dies. Brother, are you sick and tired of living a life of quiet desperation? No purpose, no power, no peace? Enough. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Become the most dangerous man in the room in the next 21 days. This new special report will show you how fast. The art of toxic masculinity. This special report is for ambitious, driven, and generous husbands, fathers, and male entrepreneurs only. Kings, not cupcakes. Champions, not chumps. If any of this turns your stomach, I recommend a hard pass. Spend your money on milk and cookies. You'll be much happier. Are you ready to become the most dangerous man in the room in the next 21 days?
That was,
and we talk about, if you listen to it, it's all double speak, right? It's really putting them down. It's saying that you ain't shit.
Right, you feel like a little piece. You feel like a little man.
Don't you hate being a piece of shit? You piece of fucking shit. Don't you want to be something better than a slimy loser that you are? I mean, it's like
it's like
I would never tune into that.
The people, those multi-level marketing people, like I can't stand them. They always get this little slime to them. But the ones that like they have to like shit on your whole life, like to get up off your ass, you fat muffin top cupcake bitch, like work out like you jelly roll donut eating. And
so
then some people like that, and some people like they need to hear somebody yelling at them, calling them that to actually.
You've seen those camps, haven't you, where they go into the fucking woods and there's some guy like, be a man, you fucking pussy, be a fucking man, pussy, be a fucking man, I'm telling you, fucking pussy, you look like a bitch, do 100 pussy right now. And it's like it's raining, and like, yeah, you like that rain, don't you, little whore, you look like a little fucking whore. It's like, what the fuck?
That's the Proud Boys. That's the with the other ones that wear khakis and with the blue shirts and the Patriot Front. And all those guys.
There's a problem with these white men. These white
men.
And
they tap into it. They know that.
And it's like I couldn't, man. But good luck on you if that's what you need, and maybe you'll land a woman. Maybe I don't know. That seems like a lot of work.
That's probably the mantra.
Yeah, if you do this, your sister will end up fucking you, I'm guessing. And if not, you can just take it.
You got each other.
Folks, thank you for listening to the Radical Roots. That was great. Thanks to our guest, Kristie. We're such bad capitalists. Let me put up our QR code. Please donate to the Radical Roots podcast. This is how we stay independent and get the news directly to you without any sort of influence, and how we can be doing these cool things like having guests on and keeping our platform going. So please, if you could donate just a few bucks, it helps us out. We're growing the platform, we're getting new followers, we're getting a lot of engagement, and it all is because of you. So if you're going to help us out, but there's the QR code, and if not, you can find it on our website. Ram, any final words?
No, I enjoyed it. It's the first time I think hopping on a Thursday in a while, and we appreciate the people who listen, and it was definitely a great conversation with Kristie. So thank you again to her. Look forward to talking to her again, and we'll see you on Sunday.
See you on Sunday. And what are you going to do about it? That's just the perennial question out there for all y'all folks as you go